Hi everyone, Happy New Year. So this is my first bag for 2025. It took me a couple days to make it, but it is called the Phoenix Handbag and it is by Chris W. Designs, and Chris was very nice to let me do this pattern. This faux leather is from Sew Yours, the brown faux leather, and the printed faux is from Styled Magnolia. Now this is a fairly large bag and I recommend that it is for intermediate because there are a lot of different in-depth things with this bag, like the side zippers. There's side zippers on both sides. And I think that if you make this just a little bit wider, you could use this as a concealed carry purse. It has the color pop straps, crossbody strap, and bag handle straps. The crossbody strap is, it does come off. And let's see what else. It has a recessed zipper. She has a different technique for doing her recessed zipper. I was challenged with it. It has a zip pocket. Has a zip pocket on the inside. I put a zipper overlay in there. She does not. She uses a zipper facing, but I use a zipper overlay. If you've watched any of my other videos, a lot of my videos have zipper overlays because it's much easier for me to do that. She had a foam pocket in hers. I did not do the foam pocket. I just did 2 slip pockets. And the lining, once you get it all constructed, fits nice and snug. And this technique up at the top is a little bit different. I've never done one of those before, but it turns out really nice. It gives class to the bag. Now she did regular connectors that are screwed into the bag. I did the hidden connectors. I am going to put separate videos next week on how to do the hidden connectors and how to do zipper overlay, how I do my zipper overlay. The hidden connectors is a trick that I got from Amy Lynne Designs, and I will leave a link to her video for that, but I am also, Amy has said that I can make a video for my YouTube channel, so I will do that also. So yeah, oh yes, and it's got purse feet. Now she does 4 purse feet. I like 6 purse feet because I just think it makes it sit more evenly. It doesn't sag so much right here, but when you put a lot of stuff in it, sometimes it'll sag in the middle if you only do 4, so I did 6. So that is the Phoenix Handbag by Chris W. Designs, and we are going to get to sewing this. Go get your pattern. You can sew along with me, or you can watch and then get your pattern and then sew it later on. Let's get sewing. Okay, the pattern pieces that you're going to need for the Phoenix, you will need an upper panel piece, 2 front and back. You will need the decorative gusset straps. You'll need 4 of those. These are cut in faux leather. The faux leather is from Sew Yours. It's the chocolate. And you'll need 2 top facing pieces, front and back. 1 for the front, 1 for the back. This will be my lower body piece. It will be my accent piece or my focal point of the bag. This is from Styled Magnolia. You will need the base piece of the bag and Decaville Heavy. I cut a piece of foam the size of the Decaville Heavy because I may put foam in it too. I don't know. I will determine that when I get to that part. You will have 2 pocket pieces or side gusset pocket pieces that are going to go on the sides. You want to cut them mirrored because one is for one side, one is for another. And then you will have 4 lining pieces for the gussets. And you will have 2 faux leather zipper gussets and 2 lining zipper gussets. All of my lining is interfaced with SF101. The pattern does call for the faux leather to be interfaced, but I did not interface mine. You will have 2 interior zipper pocket pieces. You will have 1 zipper facing piece for this interior zipper pocket. I don't know if I'm going to use this. I may just go ahead and do a zipper overlay in the front because I'm not any good with this. If it's not an overlay, then it comes out really nasty looking, so when I do it. Here is 2 of the body lining pieces and 1 gusset piece that goes around this lining. You will have 3 zippers, number 5 zippers, cut at the lengths that she gives in the pattern. You will have 3 number 5 zipper pulls. I'm using black with antique, so all of my hardware is going to be antique. You will need 2 push grommets and 2 gate rings. They should be 1 inch, but I am using 5/8. The pattern calls for 4 purse feet. I'm using 6 because I don't like how it sags in the center, so I'm using 2 on each end and 2 in the middle. You can use 5 if you don't like that sagging, but I'm going to use 6. I'm using 8 double cap rivets because I am going to be doing the hidden bag connectors instead of the strap connectors like she has in her pattern. I didn't have time to order those kinds, so I chose to do the hidden strap connectors. So you will need 4 1 inch D-rings. These are heavy duty. And you will also need a zipper end. You don't need to use a zipper end, but I think it's going to make, since this bag is so, I think it's going to be very pretty. I want to finish off the zipper with the zipper end. And then I've got some scraps over here for the little strap part of my hidden connectors. I went ahead and I did the straps already. I did them the way she did them in the pattern. I used my faux leather, folded it over, sewed it down, and then used the accent piece. I used my lining instead of this piece here. So I used my lining as my accent. So I got 2 handles, and they are cut according to the pattern. And then I did my crossbody strap the same way with the faux leather and the accent piece. I believe there's a pattern designer that calls these color pop straps. So that is all the stuff that you need for the bag. This is called the Phoenix, and the designer is Chris W. Designs, and she has approved me to do this bag. I got approval from her probably the middle of December, but I've been very busy with Christmas and the holidays, so this will probably be my first video for 2025. So let's get over to the machine and start sewing this bag. Okay, so I need to change my bobbin because I was using the brown that I'm using, but I used white for the bobbin part because I was doing my straps and I wanted my straps to be. So that's something I can show you. Since I have brown on my faux leather, I used white so the brown wouldn't show through. So I put white in my bobbin and used brown as my top thread, and then I just sewed like this on this side. That way I got the white thread here, so brown is not showing down here. I just like it better that way. I'm kind of picky that way. So I'm using Tech 70 thread, number 14 needle, and I'm sewing on a Sailrite industrial. It's called the Fabricator. I have the Fabricator Deluxe because I had the Butcher Block table. I didn't care for the white table. It was a little bit more money, but I just thought I would, I don't know, wanted to be different. So I'm going to set this on 4 because we are going to be sewing our main pieces, main body pieces, and our front top facing. That's what we're going to use. Let me go check the pattern. Okay, we're going to be using the main piece and the upper body pieces. So we want to clip these together. Excuse me. Clip these together. And you want to put the right sides together, right side of the faux leather and the right sides of the main panel together. And you're going to sew at the seam allowance she gives you. And you want to make sure you backstitch, and you want to make sure you turn your machine on. And you're going to open them up like that, the seams, and you're going to stitch here and here. Okay, you want to keep checking underneath to make sure that your seams are open. You don't want to top stitch the normal way, where you fold it or make sure your seam allowance is going up or down and then have that little fold. You want the seam to be open. So just go slow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over like this. Once you got that top one down, it's a lot easier to do this other piece. Okay. And don't forget to back stitch. I'm going to have to take this glove off. Even though my hands hurt, I'll suffer through. So, it'll look like that on the front, and it should look like that on the back where your seam is open. Okay, so now we're going to prepare our base piece and then sew it onto here. Not sure what happened there. My camera shut off. Okay, so I took my base piece and I fused my Decaville on. Then I took a piece of SF101, cut it to the full size of the base piece, and fused it over the Decaville. Now the reason I do that is sometimes when you just use your Decaville and you go to turn your bag, your Decaville gets wrinkled or some of it pulls apart. So if you put some SF101 over it, then that helps to alleviate the wrinkling and the Decaville from pulling off of that piece. So I just fused it on top of there. So then I took my pattern piece, I placed it on there evenly, and I made my marks where those are. Then I took my ruler, because I'm using 6, and I measured straight across here to these 2 dots, and I'm using this as my center, and I made a line. Then I went up here and made a line, and then I put 2 more dots in for my 5 and my 6 bag feet. Okay? Then I took my ruler and I connected all of these lines. And this will be my center because I used the center piece of this pattern piece. Connected that and connected that. And that is how you prepare your base piece. Now you can go ahead and do this before you start sewing. I just had forgotten. So let's get on over there and attach this to our front and our back. So now you want to take this piece that we just sewed and you want to take your base piece and you want to line it up, clip it, and then sew it at the seam allowance that she gives you in the pattern. Now, there's a section in the pattern that calls for a phone pocket. I am going to skip over that. I do not want a phone pocket in mine because I'm going to be doing a slip pocket on the lining. So, and I really don't care for that phone pocket. Sorry, but I just don't like it. So we're going to sew across here. We're going to back stitch in the beginning and the end. Then you want to flip this so your seams are turning down towards the base and top stitch. So this will be the regular way that you usually top stitch. I'm going to turn my thread up just a little bit. Top stitch at the top stitch measurement that she gives you. That piece looks like. So then we are going to add this piece, the back. I'm going to do it the same way. I'm going to line these up, clip them, this way. I should put clips on. Sew at the seam allowance she gives you, back stitch, front and back. And then do your top stitching the same way. Getting cattywampus here. So if you are going to add the foam pocket, you do not want to add that second top band yet. You want to do your foam pocket first, and then you want to add the top band after. But just follow the pattern directions that she has if you're wanting to do the foam pocket. I am not doing the foam pocket, so I can go ahead and do that top band right away. So you sew that on at the seam allowance she gives you. Make sure to back stitch front and back, and then you open up your seams and you top stitch, and you be careful. Go very slow and keep checking that your seams are open when you're top stitching. Whoops. And open your seams. And then you want to top stitch. So when you get all that top stitching done, you should have this big long piece that looks like this. Your top band, your body, accent body, your bottom, your front accent body, and your other top band. So it'll look like that once the bag. Ooh, that's gonna be pretty. Oh, I think I want it this way. Do I want it that way? I don't know. No, I think I want it this way. I'm gonna have to mark the front because that's more centered. That is pretty. So now we are going to do our purse feet. You're gonna cut your holes in there, and I'm using this. It's called a Japanese hole punch. I got it on Amazon. I think I need to clean it. Mine is old, and I'm not sure what's wrong with it. Have them all? No, we don't. that one. Now we got them all. So I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to get some Decaville. I like to do rounded pieces because it doesn't show as much. Instead of the squares. I gotta get back on track and get some of this stuff that I usually have already cut up. Okay. So we will punch holes in these. I usually use these for my rivets and for my metal bag tags and my purse feet. And anything else that needs a little bit of structured backing on it so it doesn't tear through over time. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to take one of these. Some people use the ones that have the washers on the back of them, but I just got some cheapy ones. Now you want to put this on there, and then you just want to open it up like that. Then we aren't going to put anything over it because we're going to be putting foam on this. Let me get my foam. Hope I got enough. Ooh, I might not have enough. Oh no. Yes, I do not have enough. Looks like I'm going to have to run to the store and get some. So we are on hold until I get back. Okay, so now I have already put two of the hidden connectors on here. I'm going to show you how to do one of them, and then you can do the other one on your own by rewinding the video, or if you get it right away, you can go ahead and do it. So what you want to do, let me see if I can, is you want to take a ruler. I got this little square quilting ruler, and you want to measure in from the edge 2 3/8 inches, And this is only if you're going to be doing well, these are the same measurements that you're going to use if you're going to do the connectors like she does them in her pattern. The 2 3/8 inches in and the 1 1/4 inches up from the base, which is this line right here. So 2 3/8 inches in that way, and 1 1/4 inches up. And then you want to put a mark. I put a little dot right here with my pen, right on the corner of that ruler. And then I did the same thing over on this side. 2 3/8 inches in and 1 1/4 up, and put a dot. Then what I did is I took one of these 1-inch squares and I put it at the half mark right by that dot, right like that. Can you see that, I hope? Put the half mark right there on that dot. Made sure I was still at 1 1/4 inches. And then I just drew an inch line. I just that square part, or if you want to do the first one, that's fine. But you just want a 1-inch line. And the reason you want the 1-inch line is because we're using 1-inch connectors. If we were using 1 1/2 inch connectors, you would want a 1 1/2 inch line. But we are using 1 inch, so you want a 1-inch line there, and do the same over here. Then you are going to take an X-Acto knife or some kind of Stanley knife or whatever you use, and I put that ruler back on there just so I could guide where my inch is. And you do not want to cut any more than that square, than that inch. You want to start right at the edge and you want to press down and stop right at that inch. And you're going to have a slice there. You go over here and do that to this one too. Start right where that inch mark is and go all the way to the edge. And you have a slice mark, okay? So then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to have 2 pieces cut at 2 inches by 2 inches. Your whatever color this is, or whatever color you're going to use your straps at. Then you're going to have 2 pieces cut 1 1/2 by 1. Okay? 1 1/2 long by 1 inch wide. And the reason why it's 1 inch wide is because we're using 1-inch connectors. Now the way I got this 2 inches is the length of it is always 2 inches for these hidden connectors, but the width is going to be the length or the width of the connector, which is 1 inch times 2, which is 2 inches. So that's how you got that, because we're going to fold these in half. We're going to tape, we're going to fold them in half, and it's going to make a 1-inch connector. Yeah. Okay, so we are going to put this like that, and we are going to put tape on here. I also cut 2 of these, well actually 4 of them, but for this I got 2 because I got 2 left over. These are going to be my stabilizer for the back of my rivets that I put in. See here, I put rivets in. And you always want something back there so over time the rivet doesn't pull through the bag. So that's what these are for. And I used foam. You can use Decaville Heavy if you want. You could use Decaville Heavy and foam. You know, if you're not comfortable with just one, you can use both of them. Just remember, you're going to have some thickness here showing through. So I'm going to put tape just on the other side of the line. Scissors. And if anybody has never told you, always have a pair of either scissors like this that you'll use to cut thread, or old scissors like these that I use to cut my paper, to cut your tape, because your tape gets gummy and you don't want to use your good fabric or vinyl scissors on the tape, on cutting the tape. That's my tip of the day. Now, to make sure this comes off easy, you want to take a brayer. You don't have to do this, but it helps it come off easy. Helps the tape come off easy, the paper. I found that out from watching a video, so I'm going to try my best to use that from now on. So then you want to fold just up to that line, not on the line, but just up to the line. And then you want to fold this other one just up to the line. Then you want to take your brayer and you want to flatten this out as much as you possibly can, because you're going to be sticking it through that hole eventually. Okay? So then you're going to take one of these. This is a 1.5 inch by 1 inch. And you're going to stick it through this hole. Let's see if I can do this like this. You're going to stick it through this hole. Didn't quite get that. There we go. Stick it through that hole. And you want your right sides together. And you want just very little showing through there. Okay? And we are going to stitch right up against that. We're going to stitch right up against here. Okay? So you want to put a zipper foot or a narrow foot on your machine. I'm turning my thread down to 3 because I want a tight sew. And when you stitch, you don't want to start off of the strip. You want to start right at the very edge of the strip. You want to be on the strip. So put your needle down onto that strip. Do 2 stitches forward and then a stitch backwards to back stitch, and then stitch all the way to the edge of this strip or tab, whatever you want to call it. Do not go off the tab. And then back stitch to the center of the tab. And then if you want, because you're back stitching, you don't need to pull your threads through and tie them off and burn them, but you can if you want to, or you can just clip them. Okay? So I'm going to go to my machine and I am going to do that. And I'll come back and show you what it looks like. So it should look like that. Hope you can see that. Can you see that? How close it is? You want to be that close without going on there. And the back will look like that. Just sticking out a little bit. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take that and you're going to push it through there. Push it through that hole. Pull it through if you have to. And it should look like that when you pull it through. And it'll look like that on the back. Okay? Then you're going to take this piece that you flattened out and you're going to stick that through the hole. Sorry if my arms are in the way here and my head. Let me see if I can. Maybe that's a little bit better. I'm going to pull that through and it'll go. And you want that just sticking through there like 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more. Like that. Then you're going to so once you get that through there, you want it to lay as flat as you can get it this way. And then the back should look like this. And you want this to stay up this way. You don't want it to flip down that way. Okay? So make sure that this stays up there. This is facing down. And you're going to stitch real close to there. Just like you did. You're going to use the same technique that you did for that. You're going to start on the tab. Go forward 2 stitches. Back 1. Then go forward all the way to the edge of the tab. And back stitch to that center mark there. Where you folded. And then you cut it off, and you can pull it through if you want and burn it off, or you can just cut it. Okay? I'm going to go back to my machine and do that and come back. This is a real simple, easy way of doing hidden connectors. I've seen other ways of doing it, and it was kind of confusing to me. And when I saw this way, I thought, haha, this is perfect. So I do all of my hidden connectors like this now. Okay, just clipping off my threads here. Okay, so then you want to take your connector and you're going to put it on there like that. And then you're going to take this and put it through that same hole. Pull it through there. And then you just adjust it. However, if you want your connector all the way down, then you pull that tab or pull that part of the thing down more like that. I think I'm going to have mine like that. You want to make sure your connector's going up. Then you're going to take these and you're going to lay them flat. You're going to put a hole in the center for your rivet, okay? So I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this, and this is going to go through all of those pieces. Go through. Yes, it did. Yay! I'll take one of my... Now, I'm doing a no-no, and I'm using a longer rivet because my shorter rivets don't quite match my my hardware. That's why I chose to use a thicker piece. As my stabilizer in the back to make up for that difference of the stem. Excuse my head. I always have to sorry, I always have to look and see if it's always on that little anvil part there. And that is the hidden connector. Wasn't that easy? And once you learn how to do this, it takes about 5 minutes to do one of these. The other ways that I have seen, where you're top stitching here, for some reason it doesn't lay right for me. And this way it lays so nice every time. So you can go and do your other side and your other 3 on your own. And I've got one more to do, and then I'll come back and we will put the foam on the back of this bag, okay? Okay, so at this point, you should have your connectors on, whether they be hidden connectors like I did, or they're the regular ones like she made, or she used in the pattern. You should have your purse feet on, and you can go ahead and wait to put your bag tags on, your bag tag on, or your logo if you're going to use one on the outside until you get the foam put on. Let's see, what else? I think that is it. So we're going to cut this foam out. I got a 1/4 inch foam. It's Pellon. It is fusible, but she suggests not to fuse it to this to do the sewing method. So if you want to get sew in, you can get sew in. We're going to cut around here the piece of foam, just trace this out and cut it. And then to keep the seams so it's not so bulky, we're going to put small zigzag stitches all the way around here. And I'm going to do that off camera because I have to pull my domestic out, put it up on the table, thread it, and all that stuff. And you all know how to zigzag. You're just zigzagging around the whole thing. So, couple things I forgot to mention in the beginning. You do need a number 3 zipper for your zipper pocket on the interior lining of the bag. You want to cut that out according to the pattern. So I'm using white for that because my background on my lining is white, but I'm still using the antique hardware for that. So number 3 zipper, number 3 zipper pull, or you can use one of those dress zippers that you get at like Walmart. Let's see. There was one more thing. I will think of it and I will mention it as we go along. It might not have been that important if I can't think of it. So I am going to cut this foam out, zigzag it on, and then I will come back and we will do the gusset parts of the bag. Okay, so I have my piece all zigzag stitched, the big piece. Now you want to take your gussets and you want to get some foam and you want to zigzag around there, and then you want to cut out, before you zigzag, you want to cut out 3/8 inch seam allowance from that foam. So it'll look like this. And what I did is I pinned it, and then I didn't pin it here, not pinned it, clipped it, sorry. I clipped it to here all the way around, and then I lifted this part up and I put a strip of double-sided tape on the faux leather and then pushed it down, stuck it down. That way it's, instead, because you do not want to zigzag here, here, or here. You just want to zigzag around here, 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 and stop right there. Do not zigzag this part here, okay? So if you do not have a machine that has the zigzag on it, I am going to show you what you can do. Where are my little scissors? Oh, there they are. So I'm putting my double stick tape down right about there. Okay. Now on the big piece that you zigzagged, you can use that spray adhesive stuff. I don't like using that. I didn't use it on mine because I think it's stinky. And I just don't, I don't know, I don't like it. And I can't go outside and spray it because it's raining and it's cold and it's damp. So I just did the zigzag and I pulled things taut as I was sewing. So you want to make sure that you get this on the edges like that. And you want to, I'm going to have to trim off just a teeny. Oops, that was not good. Not good. Should have done that. Okay. So I'm going to clip around here. And after I zigzag, then anything that's hanging over, I'm going to trim off. So don't worry if you didn't get it cut exact. I gotta start cutting with my Cricut again. I've gotten away from that for some reason. I don't know why. But I've never done foam on my Cricut, so. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do straight stitches as close to the edge as we can possibly get. Like, I would do an 1/8 of an inch, and then we're gonna sew another line inside of that. I wouldn't do any bigger than an 1/8 of an inch. And you're just doing a straight. And you don't want to use a basting stitch. You want to use a regular sewing stitch because you want the foam to be pressed down in there. It's getting the bulk out of it. Okay, so that's like that. I'm going to trim that extra off. Without cutting the faux leather. Whoops, almost stabbed myself with my scissors. Okay. Then we're going to go around there. One more time. Are we? No, maybe I'll just cut this here off. There, that's good enough. So, both your pieces, I'm going to press that one down. Looks like I missed a spot. Okay, so you've got those looking like that. Whoop. Looking like that. And then we want to do our pockets. So grab your 4 gusset side pocket pieces and your zippers. You want your small number 5 zippers. Should have 2 of them and 2 zipper pulls. You should have already, when you cut your zippers, you should have already melted the edges down. So you want to put your zipper pulls on. Okay. Got that on. And this is going to be the top, towards the top of the bag. Come on. Making me mad. Okay, so you want to put double-sided tape on the long edge of the pocket piece, the gusset pocket piece. You can use clips or you can use that wash-away tape. If you have a domestic, I suggest you use clips or the wash-away tape. Otherwise, your needle could get gummed up. Domestics, the needles don't get gummed up as easily. And it's easier to clean them, I think. So you are going to stick this down, right side up, zipper right side up. And we are going to stitch at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Okay. Turn this up to 4. Okay, 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, and you want to back stitch. Take these, you're going to do the same thing. Okay, so you want to take your other one, I should have used my brayer again. I knew I'd forget. And you want your fabrics with the right sides together. The zipper's going up. You want the sides aligned. And you just want to stick it down there. Oops. Come in, girl. Oh, that stuff's sticky. And sew at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance again. Don't forget to back stitch, beginning and end. Oops, I don't want to run over that. Okay. So it should look like this. Now you want to take it to your iron and you want to press this open. And I'm going to do that and I will be right back. Okay, so you want it like this against the right side of the gusset piece. Just like this. Then you're going to want to make a mark 1/4 inch in from this line here and 1/4 inch in from this line. And you're going to sew in between those two lines at 1/4 inch seam allowance, okay? And you're going to want to make sure that your zipper is up here and it's pulling down towards the curve. I have to get my zipper out of the way here. Okay. And you want to make sure you back stitch. So put your needle down on that mark. Take 2 stitches, 2 back stitches, and then go forward. Stop to pull your zipper pull out of the way, but don't slide it off the thing. I went too far. I'll have to take that part. Got carried away. Okay, I fixed it. So then you want to take this and you want to flip it over. And you want to pull this one so it is, pull this over. I'm going to make a clip right here. Fold this over, pull it tight. And we are going to top stitch at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. And then we're going to come back and do another at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Okay. So make sure you keep this piece out of the way. And you just want to do it where your I'll show you. It should look like that. This part should be sticking out down here, and this part should be sticking out up here. Okay? Now we're going to do, and that's just tape right there. I got to get off of there. Now we're going to do 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. I should have used. Okay. Okay, so we got those. Got that done. And we're going to, now these will be longer, but that's okay right now. You can clip them out of the way if you want to. We're going to trim them off at some point. I'm just pinning them together so they stay. So you can go ahead and do your other side. I'm going to do my other side offline, okay? Okay, so now it's time to do the gussets. I went ahead and finished one of them. So this is what the finished gusset will look like. And we will do this other one together. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get your decorative sides, gusset decorative strips, they're called, and you want to run a line down the center of both of these. Put tape on each side of the line, double-sided tape or wash away tape. And you want to fold these. Fold them up to the line, not on the line, just up to the line. And yes, I am in new clothes because I had to stop last night. I got tired. And today I had to work, so hopefully we can finish this up tonight. Okay. So there's one of them. Here's the other one. And instead of doing the grommets, I went ahead and I did these zipper connectors. I'm going to show you how I put them on. I couldn't find my punch for the size grommets that I'm using, so it's around here somewhere. I don't know where it's at. I got to clean things out, get decluttered. So I made these. What I did was I measured this 2 inches wide by 3 inches long. And then I just drew a line down the center, put double-sided tape, stuck it together, and then I put it on the D-ring. So what I did was I measured down, I got my centers, then I measured down 2.5 inches, and I'm putting this right there. I'm going to center it. I made a little tick mark here with my pen. So I'm going to center it right there. I'm going to put a tiny piece of double-sided tape on the back to stick it down so it stays in place. So kind of eyeball it. I've got the center right there. And then I also drew a line 1 3/4 inches down, so that's where the strap's going to go. And then I drew a line down here 1 3/4 inches up. So you want to put the top of the strap right on that line there. And it is going to hang over. So I am going to put a strip of tape down the center. And a strip of tape down the center. So you take the top and you put it on that line. Make sure it's straight. Okay, and then you are going to sew 1/8 inch top stitch and then 1/4 inch top stitch on the top and the bottom. And you're going to do it with this piece too. Put this on the, put the bottom of the strap on that line. I'm going to have to, this is going to look a little darker, but I got to be able to see. And you want to keep your pocket. This is going to stitch over the pocket for you. And it's okay to have all this stuff sticking out because we are going to trim all of this down. Okay? I'm not going to start at the very edge. I'm going to start, and you want to back stitch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. Pull your zipper down a little bit so it's out of the way. That's just a little bit wonky. It'll be okay though. It will be okay. So it'll look like that. And then you do the same thing at the bottom. And see how the back caught everything. See how the back caught everything, so it seals up that pocket. So you definitely want to make sure your pocket is straight in the back. baby girl? What's it doing? You watching Mom? Is it watching Mom? You're so silly. You're so silly, baby. Yes, you're a silly baby. Then we're just going to seal this up by stitching around here. And go very, very close to the edge, like an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Woo! Those, and those. Oh, goodness. Then make sure that your zipper is pulling comfortably, and it is nice and easy. Then you just want to go ahead and trim off this extra. So it looks like that. Okay. Then we will go on to attaching our gussets. And I think, just a minute, I want to go get my phone. It might fit in there. Oh. I forgot. I'm recording on my phone. I can use my case though, because I have to pull my case off to fit it on my camera stand. Oh, no, it's not big enough. Okay, I'll keep that out because I do want to make my slip pocket big enough for that. If you got a shorter phone, skinnier phone, it would probably fit in there. That is how that looks. So, on to attaching the gusset. Okay, so you want your bag laid out on the table. You want to have found your center marks on the bag here and on these already. This is going to be in the front, so you want this side here, and we're going to line up this center mark. Just a minute. This lighting is not good. There. You're going to want to line up this center mark with this center mark here. So you're going to put it there, right sides together, and you're going to clip. Then you're going to take this and you're going to swing it over this way. Okay, now when you come around here and you first start clipping this, it's going to look like that it's not going to clip. So you want to clip in the center here, and then you want to come up and clip this part here. Then you want to put 2 clips here, and then you can start back down here and finish going up this way. It's a lot easier to do that. Or if you want, you can use staples. A lot of girls use staples on their gussets. I don't, because I don't have a stapler. So it is going to look, so let me show you here. When you clip that, and then you clip this up here, you're going to look at it and you're going to think, why isn't that fitting? because that's what I was thinking. And then I realized I got to go around this curve here. That's why I got all that extra. So, and she does say that you can go ahead and hand baste it instead of hand baste around this curve to set everything in place. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go offline and hand baste it. And then I'm going to do my gusset. And then once we get one done together, then you can go ahead and do the other one on your own. Oops. See, everything just fits in there nice. So it should look like that. And then I think when I sew it, I don't know. I'll sew it like this and around. That and around. Okay. So I am going to go off camera, and I'm going to baste from here to here by hand, just to tack that down since I don't have a stapler. I think I want to start here. Okay, I'm going to turn this down. And I done. Can you see that? There, maybe that's better. I'm going to go very slowly, even though I got that tacked down. Now, just above, if you do decide to tack yours down, I went about a ½ an inch above where the top of that band is that we sewed on there, sewed across the gusset. That's where I started stitching by hand. It does make it easier, I can tell you that right now, because I usually struggle with gussets. I'm going to do something here. I'm going to go back. And I'm going to come around this way. It's going to be kind of awkward. It's gonna look nice. Yes, yes, yes. That. All right. One more gusset and we'll be ready to do the lining.